Alright, this is Obaid on behalf of V Electronics, and in this video we're going to be talking about different kinds of variables when it comes to experiments in statistics. Okay, so starting off with our experimental variable. Okay, these are variables that you test out. Let's say, for example, in a chemistry class, okay, when you mix two elements, your elements would be your experimental variables. Okay, so variables under test. Now, apart from experimental variables, you also have response variables. And what exactly are these variables? So these are variables, okay, that result from an experiment. Okay, so if you're testing a certain chemical, if you're mixing up two elements, okay, the solution that you get by mixing those two elements would be a response variable. Okay, so this is the solution or effect. If we talk about cause and effect, okay, from the experimental variables. Okay, so say for example, if you're talking about different kinds of vitamins, okay, when we talk about vitamins, you have vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C. If you're testing one particular vitamin and you're trying to figure out, okay, what happens when you have a deficiency, okay, for that particular vitamin or mineral, okay, then your vitamin would be your experimental variable because obviously you're experimenting with it, okay, and your response variable will be the impact, okay, or the disease or anything of that sort, okay, that may be caused by the deficiency of vitamin A or vitamin B or vitamin E, for example. Okay, so that would be an example of experimental and response variable. Another example would be your real estate prices. Okay, so if we talk about current events, okay, your current events would be your experimental variable depending on what's happening around you. Okay, and the real estate prices, for example, would be your response variable. Okay, so how do current events impact real estate prices? Okay, in this case, your experimental variable would be current events. Okay, and your response variable will be prices for the real estate. Okay, now if you talk about tariffs, for example, okay, tariffs would be an example of experimental variable. And how do they impact, okay, prices of products and commodities? Okay, so this is your response variable. Okay, if we talk about customs and taxes, okay, if you talk about cross-border shipping, okay, if you talk about cars, for example, your experimental variable would be cars, okay, and how they impact the prices, okay, how the customs and the taxes impact prices. Okay, so in this case, customs and taxes would be your experimental variables, and the effect would be the price itself. So your price will be your response variable. Okay, now when it comes to the third kind of variable that we're going to talk about in this video, okay, this is your lurking variable. Okay, so lurking variable. Lurking variable. Now, when it comes to your lurking variable, okay, this could be anything such as your diet, okay, type of fitness activities that you're involved in every day. Okay, it could be other types of vitamins that you may be consuming, okay, so on and so forth when it comes to vitamin deficiency, okay. When it comes to, let's say, the real estate prices, it could be things like location, okay, so proximity or location relevant to your hospitals, okay, schools, colleges, universities, so on and so forth. Okay, that will impact the real estate prices. Location relevant to the highway, the nearest highway. Okay, that will impact the real estate prices. Okay, location relevant to the airport. will impact the real estate prices. So this has to do with the lurking variable. Okay, when it comes to your tariffs and taxes, okay, we're talking about competition, for example. Okay, it could be an additional variable, lurking variable, for products and commodities. Okay, new products in the market could be a lurking variable. Okay, obviously, if you have a perfectly competitive market, as we learned in economics, if you have new products in the market, it will also impact, okay, the prices of products and commodities. Because as we learn, okay, as the demand for a certain product goes down, okay, so does the price. If the price goes down, the demand goes up. Okay, if the price goes up, the demand goes down. All right, so that has to do with your lurking variable. Now, apart from those three, there are other variables that we're not going to talk about in this video. Okay, but these three variables, okay, have to do with statistics. Okay, they have to do with the way we see cause and effect. They have to do with the way we see, let's just say, current events, okay, and its impact on the stock market. Okay, so that will be it for this video. On behalf of V Electronics, this is Ubaid. Have yourself a great day.